If you are using a different text editor, you would probably say something like, or if there is no process.env.port, give it like 8080 or something. And then you would save that. And that will work too. These double pipes, the or symbol, just means that if this does not exist, do this instead. This or this. Cool? Cool. Now that we got all of this kind of working, let's make sure we can send back our version of HTML. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another package that we already installed. What are the name of the two other packages we installed?
Express, Morgan, and EJS.
That's right. So we're going to say var logger equals require Morgan. What do you think Morgan does? It logs things. How'd you know? Mehrab, how did you know? Because he's a lumberjack. Logging. No, it's not that kind of logging. It's going to store information about what's going on inside your app, and it's going to display it down here. All you have to do to make that work is you have to say app.use logger, and then we're going to give it the argument of dev for development, which means we're still developing. And when you save this and restart, you can then refresh the page and see what happens. You'll notice that down here it now tells us that somebody issued a GET request for our app. We sent them back some info, and it took 5.642 milliseconds. Nice. All we had to do is say var logger equals require Morgan. And then right below where we created the instance of the app, create instance of Express app. We then tell our app to use the logger that we just required, the Morgan logger, and to log information as if we are developing our app, and we are, because we're still in development mode. Now we want, right below this, we want to serve up JavaScript and HTML. And to do that, we're going to use EJS. EJS stands for Embedded JavaScript. All it means is that we're going to put some of our JavaScript inside our HTML. Now, the way to get that working is you say app.set the view engine to EJS. And this says instead of using normal HTML, we want our app to use EJS. Cool, huh? Oh, yeah. Now, once that's set up, we also want to send CSS and images, etc., which are known as static files. CSS, images, and other static files. To do that, we need to tell our app we want to app.use express.static, and we want to put them all in a folder called views. Which means, what do we have to do inside our directory, inside our project? Make a new folder. That's right, Daryl. So we say mkdir. What's the name of this folder, Daryl? Views. You got it. Ta-da! Then we can put our CSS in there, our images in there, and we can put our EJS files, which are basically like HTML. Which is cool. So in fact, let's make dir views/CSS, views/images. Now it's in there. Cool. And let's touch a new file. Touch a views/home.ejs. And this EJS is exactly like HTML for the time being because we haven't put any JavaScript in it. And that's basically it. There is actually one more thing we should do to make our lives easier. We should probably also, this is a little bit of this is funky. So I'll pay attention to this one really quick. I'm going to set app.set the views folder. And then I'm going to use this weird little variable that we get for free called dir name underscore. And it actually comes up. What is this one right there? See that? Underscore dir name. It stands for the name of the directory that the currently executing script resides in. It just means whatever directory we're currently in, use that directory. It's called underscore dir name. It's a node variable. Click. And then we say plus slash views. Oh man, what the heck did we just do? A ton of funky stuff. But all of this just makes sure that whenever we want the user comes to our page, we're going to send them some HTML files. So that now we can send HTML files depending on whatever page they try to get in our application. This is how apps use different kinds of files. That's how you can go to YouTube, v equals whatever the ID of the different video is, and get a new video every time. Inside, now the last inside home.ejs, turn it into an HTML page. Doc type HTML, head, body. Let's give it a title. My first Express app. Body is going to say H1 prep for prep. And then a paragraph tag that says live your life. The problem is we haven't told our app to use our home.ejs file yet. And I'm going to paste all this into Slack, so don't worry. I am going to paste it all into Slack. I just want you to see the errors that happen if you don't do things right the first time. So that if you do encounter those errors again, you know what's up. Cool? Now, you guys can do this part here, but in your server.ejs, this is the part that you have to remember. Instead of saying response.send h1, we're going to response.render the home.ejs page. And now, if you restart your application, you should be able, ta-da, and there's our HTML page. Beautiful. Now we have a fully functioning working application. All you have to do is flesh out the CSS and HTML, like use Materialize or Bootstrap, and that's a full app. That's it. You don't have to do a single other thing. Now we are going to do a few more things just because I want to make this cool, and right now it's pretty boring. But at its core, that is literally all you need to get an app working. We just did it. And how many lines of code? Like 26. And there's with some comments in there. That's kind of nuts. Now I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to send you the code on Slack. And by the way, it even says get. And we got a 200, which means it's good. And it took 18.269 milliseconds. And we sent over our home.ejs page.